No, it'll be pretty bad if the if Gen X, millennials, and Zoomers don't actually realize that they have a common enemy. The common enemy is the bankers. I'm not even saying the boomers are the enemy anymore. Like I said, many of them are not really with it anymore mentally. It seems like most of them are pretty fucking checked out of all reality at this point, from what I can tell. There's a few out there with a few scruples still rolling around in their minds, but the majority of them are too far checked out. They still believe this old school economy exists, where like no, you can just the Dave Ramsey effect, right? Like no, just work harder, just do more hours. It's like, dude, that doesn't work when you're printing money. If the bankers are printing money, that doesn't really work at all. That you could work yourself into the grave, and it doesn't make any difference. It's not going to do anything for you. You're not going to actually get ahead on anything. So no, so these three generations, and I'm talking to my Xers on this one predominantly, and the reason I'm talking to you guys is because whether you want to believe this or not, millennials and Zoomers are looking at you now. They are. I find this happening in my own life, just personally, and it's a strange feeling, because I don't think any of us wanted to be in charge of anything. I don't. I think generationally we were kind of like, hey, we just kind of want to do our own thing and be left alone, and listen to music and just sort of chill with the vibe, kind of thing, right? I mean, I think that's the majority of us didn't really want to do anything that was considered to be great, right? It's not something that, none of us are really seeking great. I don't know too many Xers that are, like, seriously, I don't know too many Xers that are fame chasers, right? I'm not talking about celebrities and what have you. I'm not talking about, or professional politicians. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just your average Gen Xer. They're not fame chasers. They're not trying to, make big, they're not trying to be influencers. Even though, I realize that, I'm doing this here and stuff, but I don't do this for money. Like, I don't get paid anything for this. Beyond the, the monetization of, like, TikTok and what have you. Every now and again, I'll get, like, $120 or something like that. Whoop-de-doo, right? It's like 3 tanks of gas in my Jeep. So I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out, like, that most of Gen X, I think, most of us aren't really looking to do anything like that. But the thing is that the next generations are starting to look to us by default, because we've been around. We're not boomers. We can't go down, and none of us can. Once again, it's like most of us can't go down that same road with the boomers, because we saw these guys, right, growing up. All of us did, right? And we see the hypocrisy of the average boomer right now playing out, right? Like, we all remember it, okay? Like, dude, we all remember all the boomers in our neighborhoods, that had money to buy boats and cigarettes and alcohol. They had all kinds of money to do all that kind of shit. And still own a house and still have kids and all of it. Oftentimes on one, maybe 1.5 incomes, meaning that their wife might work part-time, right? She might work part-time at the school or something like that, shit like that. But for the most part, most of us remember that. And we look at that and go, yeah, that ain't happening now. That ain't happening fucking hardly at all for almost anybody. And, well, so that's why boomers can't really fuck with us too much, because we remember that shit. Like, So the younger generations are starting to kind of look around like, okay, well, you guys have been here for a while. What's the story here? What are we, what can we do? And a lot of them have a lot of misconceptions about the way things are working here. Remember how I said, like, we all come into this world kind of in the middle of a movie. We don't know what's going on. We have to rely on other people to bring us up to speed to what's going on in the world, right? And we usually rely on our parents. And if our parents won't do it, then they send us off to the schools. And of course, the schools have no incentive to teach you the truth. They do not. No, most government schools, even private schools, many of them have no incentive to teach you the truth of what's going on in the real world. And many of them have hired nothing but academics, right? And it's not just academics, in some cases, legacy academics. So these are people who heard from a guy who heard from a guy who heard from a guy what history was like. It's like, dude, that's not reality. That's not how anything works. Like you need you need to get, you know, your most valuable information is going to come from the ground. It's always going to come from the field researchers, the guys that are out here doing this shit every fucking day. That's where your most valuable information is always going to come from, because they're in the middle of it. They're doing all of this stuff. They're not theoreticians teaching shit that's like 40 years old, like most of the colleges now. The vast majority of the colleges, they're teaching shit that's 40, 50 years old. It's shit that's not even relevant anymore. It hasn't been for 30 years. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. 30 years ago, I was questioning that shit. I was saying, dude, man, what if everybody gets a degree? Like, what's it going to be worth? And yet I still run into young people that are like, they say, no, I want to go to college and get a degree. Like, why? Because like 50% of other people have degrees. What's that going to do for you? What exactly is that going to do for you? Well, I can get a better job. Dude, people with degrees right now can't get fucking better jobs to save their lives. They're sending out 40,000 applications. They get one phone call, you know, from a telemarketing company that's offering them $12 an hour. I mean, so, so yeah, Gen X, I mean, a lot of them are looking to us, and it's going to come down to us. We're going to have to actually bring these people up to speed and let them know that, look, this is a heist. That's really what this is, right? And the reason I talk to the Gen Xers about this kind of stuff is because you have enough of what's called foundational knowledge, meaning that just, you know, it's hard to teach. Like, you know, it's like when little kids learn really fast, right? When they're little. Well, yeah, but it's harder to teach little kids. Why? Because they don't have foundational knowledge. Those of us in our late 40s and 50s, we have foundational knowledge, right? We have a lot of foundational knowledge, which means that you should be able to learn this way faster, okay? Because you have that. You have that bedrock of knowledge that's helping you. And so you're able to learn a lot quicker. And I think a lot of us know, objectively, just watching this all play out, all of this shit, all of this mess, okay? We all see it. What's happening is a heist. This is just a heist. They're just stealing at this point. Who's they? That would be your government. That'd be your giant corporations working together with your giant government. That'd be pretty much every enforcement agency that's ever existed in this fucking country. These people are all in, and every banker running all of it. That's your puppet masters, if you want to think of it in those terms. So we all know this is kind of a heist. And the younger generation are starting to see this, and they're starting to see that, yeah, this is a heist. This is where you have to actually intervene and say, okay, hold on, slow your roll, back up. You're right. This is all a heist. And all of this shit is fake. And they're just ripping everybody off left and right. The middle class, the working class are getting completely fucking gutted. You're right about that. But more government isn't the solution. It's not. More government, more laws, more dude, that is not the fucking solution. It's not. Wide open borders is not the solution. Sorry, loser-tardians, you're fucking wrong on that. Wide open borders is not the fucking solution. Especially when the people that are coming to the country have a country they can go fuck off to when they fuck everything up here, right? This is why you're not supposed to have people in any level of government, and I mean any level of government as far as I'm concerned, with dual passports. You should not do that. You shouldn't be fucking dog catcher if you have dual passports. So, no, because you can fuck this country up and then you can go somewhere else. Americans don't get to do that. Americans are stuck here for better or for worse. We are stuck here with each other whether we like it or not. So we stand a much better chance of survival if we work together. That's just the truth, right? I mean, like, dude, we all remember Gladiator, right? What did Maximus say, you know, in the movie? You know, like, this is just, you know, a movie reference, but it's like, dude, what did he say? He's like, that when, you know, they're all going to face, you know, they're going to go in the arena. It's like, listen, whatever happens, we stand a much better chance of survival if we work together. That's the truth, because there is magic in numbers there. That's why that one guy, I can never remember that guy's name. He went to Alaska, and he starved. There's a famous book, and I can't remember his name. Anyway, but it's like, yeah, it's because it's one guy. But if 50 people do that, well, now you have the ability to divide labor a bit, and you stand a significantly better chance of the group surviving, the pack. So, Gen X, whether you like it or not, you're the pack leader.